Hello, hi.
Hi, welcome. Where are you calling from, and do you have a question or reflection to share?
Yeah. Well, I'm calling from Italy, and I'd like to thank you, Soren and John, for this great opportunity to stay together in this planetary community. Um, I have a question for you, John, about the MBSR. Because I'm a qualified teacher, and I'm running MBSR courses around. And
Where
my
are you from
concern
in
is
Italy? Where are you in Italy?
Milan.
Oh, wonderful.
Now,
Did you study with Fabio Giomi or?
Franco Cucchio
Okay, Franco. Wonderful.
and Lynn Corbell.
Wonderful.
The question I have for you is following. Sorry. My concern is in this pandemic, we are learning that MBSR can be run online. Really, I started doing mindfulness after many years of meditation, exactly online 5 years ago with CFM, because I couldn't join in a special in a city because I used to travel a lot for work. So what I did was to enroll online with the CFM, and it was a wonderful experience for me. It changed my life. It changed my perspective about mindfulness and meditation in general. But in the Mediterranean culture, we have trouble with the online, approach. We are so close geographically talking that for us it's it's inconceivable to do stuff online, and we do it now because of the pandemic. So my question is, what about the MBSR? Because my concern is MBSR could be really tiring for people online, at least in Italy. And my question is, what about doing that in a slightly different format? For instance, instead of doing one class each week, we could do 2 classes each week with a small time. Instead of 2.5 hours, could be 1 hour and 50 minutes, for instance. Mm-hmm. That way, we could be closer to the people throughout the practice, throughout the course, and at the same time, providing kind of relief on the heaviness of being online all the time. Well, for a long time, let's say.
Yeah, yeah.
Not sure if I explained myself.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. MBSR is not that important. The important thing is the M. Okay, and the form of MBSR is a particular form, and it was developed for a particular era before there was even anything online. I mean, before there was worldwide internet for regular people, it was only a military network. So it's a complicated problem because if you start changing the form of MBSR, it's no longer MBSR. So since MBSR is not what's important, but the M is important, I would say you should feel free to do whatever teaching you want to do to address the challenges of suffering and stress and pain and illness in whatever way is most wonderful for you to do in your environment, Italy, and however Italians feel about. It's very hard to generalize about how Italians would feel about online versus somebody else. But I think it's also important not to call it MBSR if it's not in the format that MBSR is in, for a lot of reasons. Much of it has to do with the ongoing scientific study of MBSR. And if you start modifying it in a million different ways, then you can't compare it with anything that's already been studied. So, so you have to decide for yourself about that kind of thing. If you're going to call it MBSR, then it really should be in that format. And to do that online, you know, again, it's not a fixed thing. So there's some flexibility, but I wouldn't sort of immediately start changing a lot of that kind of time structure and then think that it was still MBSR. We just
Thank
don't
you, Jon.
know. But it can all be mindfulness. So I would encourage you to do what you think is best. Just don't call it MBSR unless it's pretty close to what MBSR is.
Gotcha.
Okay? Non-attachment to name and form, right back to the Heart Sutra.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm glad you understand what I'm saying. Much appreciated and buona sera.